Let's bring in associate editor of the Washington Post, Bob Woodward. He's out with a new audio book titled The Trump Tapes, Bob Woodward's 20 interviews with President Donald Trump. Bob, it's great to have you back with us this morning. So 8 hours,
Thank
20
you.
interviews. You say you've never done this before in all your years of talking to presidents and other high-ranking people. You've never put out publicly the tapes of your interviews. I'm sure you saw Donald Trump this week saying he never gave you permission to do that, and you're trying to make him look bad. But what was your motive for publishing these tapes?
Well, when I went back and listened to them, I was one of the facts is in 8 hours you can persistently question Trump. Now, this is when he's the sitting president, and I raise all kinds of issues like racial justice. He dismisses it. Oh, no, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. And when you hear it, you realize he's locked in his own point of view. He's locked in his world, as we know, but you hear it. On the virus, I go through the 15 things that need to be done to mobilize the country to deal with it. And again, he's dismissive and won't listen. And it's not, to me, I talked to the experts who said we need to mobilize the country.
So let's listen to some of these tapes. This one is from December 30th, 2019. Bob asked Donald Trump about some of Trump's conversations with world leaders, discussions Trump apparently did not tell any intelligence officials about.
I found in my assistant that you have what they call kind of a shadow system on the phone of calling people where the intel people don't know, and it pisses them off. Is that correct?
I don't know if it pisses them off.
Okay, but you do
But I
have...
get better intel the way I do it than I can ever get from other people.
Okay, but you do
Newspapers
have
write about
a shadow
I
communication
get along with
system.
people. I talk to people. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I do.
The intel people and a lot of people in the government don't like it.
I don't know if they like it.
I know they
I just
don't
want
like
them
it
to do
because
their
they
jobs.
don't.
Okay. I want them to do their jobs. If you think I'm happy with intel after what I went through with Comey, who's a stupid guy, a very stupid guy, but when I have Brennan, I have Clapper, I have Comey, I have this scum that I have to deal with, that the remnants of it, and there are many other people I could name, but I won't bother naming them right now, and then I'm supposed to say how wonderful our intelligence is? I don't think so. That's not going to happen.
Excuse me one second. What is the shadow communications? He's the president of the United States.
No.
If he makes the call, that's the call.
I understand, but it's on a system that doesn't necessarily involve the NSC or...
No, I have no secrets. I have no secrets from anybody in our government.
So Bob, first of all, let's just take note. The President of the United States is calling FBI directors and other national security leaders scum. Fascinating, actually deplorable. I'll use the word because it fits here. But also, I do better intel. He thinks he's better doing intel than his own intel community led by intelligence professionals. It reminds us of what he said in Helsinki when he said he trusted Vladimir Putin more than he trusted the men and women of the United States intelligence community.
He's his own intelligence officer, and when I asked him about the CIA's assessment of the thuggish leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, Trump says, well, I know, I mean, again, in the tone, I'm the only one that knows. He is locked into this world of untruth that he is he's leading, and the summary for me is when you listen to all this and lay it out, he does not understand the responsibilities of the president. You can reject what the intelligence community tells you, but you want to listen to it, and he's off, running an off-the-books operation to deal and try to understand the world.
Right. Bob, you listen to him talking the way actually he talked through his entire presidency. And you get that combination of the arrogance and the ignorance, where he says, well, I can do it better than anybody else. And he's, of course, got people sucking up to him going, he's a president. He can say whatever he wants to say, when, of course, presidents always have the NSC. I have other people listening so they can help them out. It's very easy to see how somebody that arrogant and that ignorant could make the jump from where he is there to thinking that he can just steal top secret documents and that they're somehow not the property of the United States of America, but they're his own, and he can unilaterally make those decisions. But it looks, Bob, does it not, like that arrogance and that ignorance may get him in big trouble?
Well, and look, we're in big trouble. We were in big trouble. And if you look at this period, I was talking to him for 9 months while he was the sitting president in office. You see that he isolated himself from reality. The problem is, for me, I had to go through and I could ask him questions, follow-ups. As we all know, in the normal interchange he had with reporters, he would walk away. And in one of these calls, I'm getting into sensitive areas, pushing him on things. I got to go. And he hangs up. He does not like to be interrogated, but in this case, the arrangement was I could ask anything. It was all on the record, and now people can hear it. I myself put all of this out in the book Rage. There are 90 pages in Rage recounting these conversations, but and it's all there. But when you listen and you see the closed mind, the insistence, at one point even says, everything is mine, everything is mine. But of course, that's the way he looks at this, and now I think he thinks the presidency is his.
It's crazy. In this recording from December 13th, 2019, you asked Donald Trump how he feels about the fact that so many people dislike him.
Why did so many people hate you?
Well,
why are they so hateful?
The love is equal to the hate, though.
Okay.
I have
Fair
the
point.
love.
Fair
It's
point.
equal, the famous Fifth Avenue statement. Boom, right?
Where did that come from? Was that instinct?
It was pure instinct. And it was well received, but not so well. But then now they write, it's true.
At a 2016 campaign rally in Iowa, Trump said,
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
you know, we have two Americas out there. You realize that. You are president of two Americas.
Yeah, that's true.
They are divided.
That's true.
Is it, in the end, not your job to try
I would
to
like
bring
to be
them
able to do
together?
that. I would like to be able to
Isn't
do
it
that.
your job
I think
now?
the biggest
Job
problem
one,
I have.
bring them back together.
I think the biggest problem I have for doing that, I would love to do that, because I've oftentimes said that, you remember when I put out the Christmas greeting where I said, Merry Christmas to all, even the haters, you know? But I would love to be able to do it. The biggest problem is the media.
Bob, you know, I've known Donald Trump for 40 years, mostly adversarial. But in listening to this last part of the tape you played, I always sensed, even those of us that opposed him, marched on him and all, he really wanted everybody to like him. Did you get the sense that part of his weakness was that he really, even engaging you, wanted people to like him, despite the fact that he was doing the most adversarial and sometimes outrageous things, and that he lived in his own world? I think that he had his own reality that did not in any way, in my opinion, blend in with the reality of whatever the given social, political landscape was at the time.
You're absolutely right. He wanted to be liked. I mean, people like to be appreciated and so forth. At the same time, the tragedy in all of this is the disconnect. I mean, he's not out there. He's out there to do a job. What's the job? I asked him once, what's the job of the president? He said, to protect the people. If in national security, he took risks. He kind of had this idea that he could form relations based on instinct. Well, we all have instincts, but we need to, particularly a president with all that power, needs to filter it and listen to others. But this, as he said once, he's the Lone Ranger. He was the Lone Ranger president. And if he gets in there again, he's now learned where the levers of power are, appoint complete loyalists in the White House and the cabinet, don't have people who are their own experts, and what would a second Trump presidency be like? The problem here, overall problem, he didn't learn anything. He didn't learn any. He did not grow, and as we know, we all have to try to grow and learn. Not Donald Trump.
Bob, one of the clips that you've gathered and put out here, we don't have it to play, but it's a brief clip, and you're questioning him about a speech he gave, and you ask him, did he have help writing the speech? Please explain that brief clip that we don't have, and its impact on you and on us, on the country.
Well, this is when the famous walk from the White House over to the church and holding up the Bible, and he had given a law and order speech. And I asked, where does that come from? Do people help you? And he said, well, yes, a little bit. But and what he says in the clip, I'm sorry, it's out there. He says, they are my ideas. They are mine. And then there's this whisper of confidentiality and intimacy where he says, Bob, everything is mine. And that summarizes it. Everything is not mine, not his, and he disconnected himself from the other. As we know, there's a lot of self in the presidency, but you've got to have advisors. On your show, Joe and Mika, you have producers, you have people who get information, you say you're going to do something. I hope you have people say, no, that's stupid or that's not supported. No one can go alone in life, let alone, and for a president to do this is, nothing could be more risky for the country.